Page 21. Listen. Bungee jumping and whitewater rafting. Exercise 2. Listen to a conversation among 3 friends. As you listen, number the events in the order they happened. Compare your answers with a partner's.
Listen, have you ever done something really stupid or dangerous just to impress someone?
What? You mean like bungee jumping? Sure.
Bungee jumping? It must have been so scary.
You better believe it. The only reason I didn't chicken out is because my girlfriend was there, and I didn't want to look like a coward.
So, what was it like?
First, I had to sign a waiver form saying basically that it's all my responsibility if I die. That's when I got chills down my spine.
And what happened after you signed your life away?
Then they weighed me.
Weighed you? What for?
Yeah, I know. I thought it was kind of odd too, but it's for a good reason, 'cause your weight determines how long the bungee cord will be, so you don't hit the ground.
Ouch! Sounds painful.
And very dangerous. Some people have actually died that way. But anyway, so they weighed me and put all this gear on me, like ropes and straps.
Did you get nervous watching the people ahead of you jump?
Oh, yeah. And I got butterflies in my stomach with every one. Just looking down was pretty scary, too. I'm not afraid of heights, but even for me, looking straight down 200 feet was pretty disheartening.
And you still jumped?
Yeah, in a moment of insanity. So when my turn came, they put the cord around my legs, but get this, they didn't tie it. They just wrapped the cord around my legs a few times and said, "Okay, you're ready." I really thought I was going to die.
I'm not surprised.
How did it feel to be jumping off into thin air with just a rope around your ankles?
Well, I summoned all my courage and tiptoed to the edge of the platform. As I was stepping toward the edge, it seemed that the cord around my ankles was getting looser. And that was unbelievably scary, I'll tell you. Then I jumped, and I plummeted straight toward the ground. I have to say, I thought I was a goner. But then I felt the tug of the cord, and I realized that the scariest part was over, and I was still alive. And there's really not much more to tell, except that I can brag about that jump for the rest of my life.
Sounds so terrifying. I don't think I could ever go bungee jumping.
Me neither.
Want to hear about something scary I did?
Sure, we're all ears.
Okay. It's when I went whitewater rafting.
Whitewater what?
Whitewater rafting. You know, it's when you go down a raging river in a rubber raft. They call it whitewater rafting because the water's all foamy from constantly smashing into rocks, and there are lots of rapids and whirlpools in the river.
You know, I've always wanted to try that. What was it like?
Oh, it was fabulous. Just fabulous. Although the first time is the worst because you don't know exactly what to expect. But if you've ever been hit in the face with a bucket full of freezing water, then you have a pretty good idea of what it's like.
Cool.
Yeah, well, it was the absolute thrill of my life.
And you weren't afraid of the rapids?
Well, yeah, I was pretty scared at first, but that's what made it exciting.
Were you alone on the raft?
No, there were 6 people per raft plus the guide. Before we got into the raft, we had to first put on wetsuits, and then we had to learn how to paddle in unison.
And then they just let you go down the river? Must have been hard for people without any rafting experience.
Yeah, it was pretty rough at the beginning, but we managed to get our act together pretty quickly and started paddling as a team. It was really exhilarating to make it through rapids together and not turn over. Everybody had to pull together. It was literally sink or swim.
Did anybody fall out of the raft?
Yep, I did. The river sucked the back of the raft down, and I went with it. I went down, came up, went down again, and then came back up. Finally, my buddies pulled me into the raft. It felt like the river had just chewed me up and then spat me out.
Did you think you might not make it?
Oh, of course. There have been quite a few casualties, in whitewater rafting.
How did it feel when you finished?
Well, I was soaked, freezing, and absolutely exhausted. But at the same time, I was really happy and proud of myself. I felt on top of the world.
Sounds great. We should all go.
Okay, but only as long as there's no bungee jumping afterwards.